Well, didn't think this would be on my bingo card for 2024. Tim Burton is directing The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Interesting. Now wait, because I know a lot of people will go, there's going to be maybe some feminism, blah, 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 blah. The screenwriter, interesting. This is a screenwriter, Gillian Flynn, because Tim Burton's not writing it. It's a Gillian Flynn scripted movie. Gillian Flynn, interestingly, has been called a raging misogynist. Yes, she's a woman, but she's been called a raging misogynist because she writes awful women. So this is interesting on multiple levels. Multiple levels, I think, personally. So let's take a look, shall we? Ladies and gents. Tim Burton to direct Gillian Flynn's scripted reimagining of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman for Warner Brothers. So, I hate deadline for this. In the wake of Barbie. What is this related to Barbie? Seriously? For goodness sake. So, in the wake of Barbie racking up 8 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and becoming Warner Brothers' highest grossing movie of all time at $1.44 billion, here's another female power event project that's in the works under the Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy administration. Deadline understands, because it's their exclusive, that Tim Burton is attached to direct Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, a reimagined telling of the 1958 Warner Brothers movie classic, which Gone Girl scribe and Sharp Objects Emmy nominee Gillian Flynn is writing. So the original sci-fi cult classic made for a reported $88,000 starred Alison Hayes as a wealthy heiress whose close encounter with an alien triggers her to grow into a giant, complicating her marriage, which is already in turmoil. No thanks to her philandering husband. What a weird thing to remake. Isn't that odd? What an odd thing to remake. Burton has delivered reimagined 50s sci-fi movies before for a mass audience, that being 1996's Mars Attacks, which was actually based on the Topps trading cards and featured an ensemble cast of Jack Nicholson. Well, we all know about Mars Attacks, for goodness sake. And amazingly, for 1997, that grossed $101 million. That's not bad. So Burton is going to be producing Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, and Andrew Millman and Tommy Harper as well. Kai Dolbashian is a executive producer. So in directing feature credits alone, Burton has racked up $4.1 billion at the global box office. Alice in Wonderland, Planet of the Apes, Batman, Batman Returns, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Nightmare Before Christmas, a multitude of things. Recently, producer on Wednesday for Netflix as well. Burton has the sequel to his 1988 Warner Brothers blockbuster Beetlejuice, coming out on September 6, and the pick receiving the title a few days ago, Beetlejuice. Interesting. Now, so here's an interesting thing, right? So we had here, it was recently announced that Gillian Flynn, was going to be adapting her other novel, Dark Places, as an HBO limited series, and she's going to be serving as co-creator, co-showrunner, and writer of the series, which actually, hilariously, the fact that she's co-creator, co-showrunner, and writer is categorically, just there alone, an example of how the WGA strike failed. Because the only reason they're able to get one writer on board is because she's the writer and showrunner as well. From what looks like it anyway, because that was part of their deal. I could be wrong. There might be other writers, but that does look like it's that. Because that was part of their deal. You can have one writer if they also serve as showrunner, apparently, and they write the whole series. From that, it sounds like she is. Just a topical side note there. So who is she? Flynn, anyway, she's a former Entertainment Weekly reporter, adapting her own novel, Gone Girl, for the big screen, which David Fincher directed. The movie grossed over $369 million worldwide, saw its lead actress Rosamund Pike land an Oscar. Nomination anyway. Flynn also adapted her own debut novel, Sharp Objects, into an HBO limited series, which landed her so she's basically ingratiated with HBO and Warner Brothers. So it makes sense that that's why they're going to be working with this. Flynn also created the Prime Video series Utopia, and wrote Widows. She's wrote a lot of stuff, actually. She's wrote a lot of stuff. And like I said before, just as an FYI, so if we go here, this is Gillian Flynn. So she did Gone Girl, Widow, Sharp Objects, blah, blah, blah. But here's some funny quotes anyway. Quotes. I've certainly been called a misogynist, and that to me is strange. It feels so old-fashioned to think because you write about awful women that you don't like women. To me, it's worse to only write about good women. I'm tired of women as the supporting character, women as the helpmate, women as the adorable, flawed heroine. She can be front and centre, but only if she falls down a lot and has trouble with men. Oh, it's interesting. So trademark, female villains. So a lot of people might be looking at this and going, oh, this just sounds like it'd be fun. Doesn't it? To me, anyway. It does just sound like this is going to be a bit of fun. And there's not much else. I mean, other trademarks. Stories usually involve dark subject matter involving crime. I don't know how they're going to adapt to this in terms of its subject matter, though. Because originally, again, a wealthy heiress bumps into an alien and then is like, yeah, I'm now huge and my marriage sucks. I don't know. How are you going to adapt that now? It's like working within Tim Burton. That makes sense. I can see why this would be like a Tim Burton type deal, right? But Gillian Flynn and what she normally does, I don't know. I don't see it. Do you see it? Seems like an interesting thing to do. And I do wonder what angle they'll take with it. Because obviously it's not going to be a straight remake. We all know that. Whether it's like adapted for the modern audience or not, who knows. But more adapted by Gillian Flynn in her style of writing is what I'm more interested in. So I'd like to hear your suggestions. What do you think? What do you think? I'd imagine it would be villainy. And the woman will be bad. Given Gillian Flynn's usual approach. So there you go. Not much else there, to be fair. It's just a funny remake that's been announced. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mistake Reviews. Definitely Twitter, or X, as it is known now. I'm tweeting up a storm. I'm the Twitter extraordinaire. I mean, I'm not, but it's still interesting. Follow me. So please do. Links down below, as well as to my second channel, Mistakes Reviews Live Archives. Other content up there, different style, similar topics, but different style. So cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.